ASL Season 13, final day of the round of 8 is upon us. I am Nyoken, joined by Scan. Finally going to get to see day 1 playing on day 4. It's Rain versus Soulkey. Going to be an exciting ZVP. What do you think, Scan?
Well, a lot of people have been waiting to see some of these amazing superstar players like Soulkey, who hasn't actually. I don't think he hasn't won any ASL tournament, but yeah, he's kind of one of the top Zerg player in this 2021, since 2021 to like 2022. Still going on. And Rain, he's recently came back and started playing in the competitive scene once again, and look how strong he is. Like, he made it into round of 8, and I wonder how Rain is going to be playing against Soulkey here.
Yeah, I'm also curious to see his form. Like you stated, he's come back recently, but already in the top 8, and he's going to potentially make it into the round of 4. Kind of just a testament to his beastly skills. And not only is he a superstar in StarCraft 1, he was arguably one of the best in StarCraft 2. So this guy has got it all. It doesn't matter what StarCraft version he plays. He's just a monster. And I think we're going to go into highlights of the players coming into this particular match. So let's get into that.
And don't forget, we are going to have the round of 4, which is a semi-final, Light versus Bisu tomorrow. And I guess the screen won't be switching over to the highlight video yet.
Yeah, that is true. The Light versus Bisu series, that should be exciting. Both players, I would say, barely getting through the round of 8. Not playing as exceptionally well as we're used to, so they're going to need to turn it up in the round of 4. Because, yeah, their play was... I just don't think they're going to be able to make it to the finals with their play that they showed in the round of 8. So they definitely need to turn it up a notch. And here we go. Here are the highlights.
Rain has been showing up fantastic games in this ASL Season 13. And of course, there's going to be no sound for this because of the music they're playing on the background. We are going to be uploading on our YouTube later on. So we have to be apologize for those people who want to hear the sound, but we cannot play it. And that's also Soulkey. He actually overcome in his DBZ that we weren't actually expecting of, that he will be surviving in the round of 16. That was like 3 Zerg and 1 Terran in his group. And the highlight video showed that he has been winning 8 games in a row in the Zerg versus Protoss matchup. So Soulkey is just kind of being unstoppable in this tournament match history. And looks like we are going to be moving to the interview. ASL Season 13. This is the last match of round of 8, Rain versus Soulkey. But previously we have seen lots of great players like Light, Bisu, and Soma made it into semi-final, but we still have to see one more player advancing into semi-final here. This is going to be the last game, and we're going to be meeting up our players, Rain and Soulkey. How are you guys doing? And how do you feel about today? How's your condition?
컨디션은 솔직히 별로 안 좋은데.
So Rain answers, he doesn't feel that much of a great condition of today's game, but he still got the energy to play this best of 5 series against Soulkey. He would like to finish up this best of 5 as soon as possible so he can go home and get some nice rest. So when you looked at this round of 8 group draw, how did you feel with that when you had to play against Soulkey? And Rain says he's one of the players that he wanted to avoid playing in a round of 8, but in order to win the ASL champ title, he has to play against him. So
중간에 드시는 걸 보고
he
한번
wants
좀 먹어봐야겠다 생각해서 조금
he
졸음이
wants to try his best.
졸음이 확 깼어요.
And how about you, Soulkey? Same question. And Soulkey is saying that he's talking about the hot six. Since all those Korean commentators are always drinking about this hot six drink, he actually tried it out in this today before he plays on his offline stage, and he kind of feels great about it. He got some energy from drinking from those hot six.
워낙 24강, 16강 단판들에서도 좋은 모습을 보여줬기 때문에 다전제도 충분히 정윤종 선수 해낼 수
So
있다라고
Rain, you have been
많은
showing
분들이
such a
예상을
nice
하고
game in
계신데
the
준비하는 데
best
있어서는
of one
어려움은
match and
없었나요?
best of three of this round of 24 and round of 16.
어려움이 없었는데
And this is a best of 5 series of this round of 8.
생각보다
How did you prepare?
힘들더라고요.
And Rain answers,
좀 그게 관건이
he got his COVID test positive and he has some tough time taking care of his
문제지 뭐 경기력은
health.
제가 봤을 때는 밀리지 않는다고 생각해서
Because once you get those coronavirus, you kind of have some sore throat, your headache, and it's kind of have some tough time for Rain, and also didn't have much of time for him to practice as well. But he will try his best. And how about you, Soulkey? How many or how much did you prepare for this round of 8? And Soulkey says he's very confident of this playing against Protoss. So as long as he just plays as his normal day of his Zerg versus Protoss matchup, then he's highly likely going to be making it into round of 4. He knows Rain is a tough player, but he will try his best. And he wants to make it short. So throughout this best of 5 series, which match is going to be the important game for you? So Rain says the game number 3 is probably going to be the most important game for him, which is the map Eclipse. And we will be asking the same question for Soulkey. What do you think? And Soulkey also says he kind of agrees with Rain, the Rain's opinion. Game number 3 is kind of important for him too as well. So what do you expect about your prediction of this best of 5 series matchup? And he says 3-1. He will be winning this game 3-1. Rain. And
3대0 아니면 3대1 나올 것 같아요.
either it is going to be either 3-0 or 3-1 of this best of 5 series game. So we're going to be wrapping up this interview. Any last word before we go into the game? We were supposed to be played 1 or 2 weeks ago, but we had some
오늘 좋은 경기력이 나왔으면 좋겠습니다. 열심히 하겠습니다.
we had some those coronavirus cases going on, and he wasn't taking care of it. So he kind of wanted to apologize to those audience, and he'll try to give some nice performance of today's game. And Soulkey also says the same thing. He wants to show nice performance of this tonight best of 5 series. And thank you for the interview. We're gonna be moving into this round of 8 match 1 of this best of 5 series, and we're gonna be taking a look at these 5 maps.
Yep, thank you for the translation scan. And as you can see, first map is going to be Revolver, followed up by Allegro, Eclipse, Vermeer, and Butter. And it's going to be the first time we get to see a PVZ in a while in the ASL. This map seems to be very, very punishing for Zerg when Protoss is on the field. But I was looking at Spawnbong's statistics, about a 56% win rate for Protoss, just simply based on what people were saying about PVZ. I was expecting it to be higher, but still a 56 to 44% advantage is kind of a big deal in the pro scene. And what do these stats say?
Well, we are seeing Rain this is his 6th time making it into round of 8, and if he wins this just I have to skip into the next screen, but pretty much showing the statistics information of Rain's best of 5 series record. That was like 7-5. That's more than 50% win rate, and that was somewhat shocking to know. Soulkey's best of 5 series match history shows 1 wins and 6 losses. So Soulkey, they play lots of best of 5 series, but he always got eliminated in those round of 8 in the previous season. So yeah, we can see all those previous history of them. Rain played against Soxry in Season 8 versus Flash as well in Season 8 for the round of 4. And these are the information that Rain has the second highest win rate in the PvZ versus Soulkey is keeping up his consecutive wins, 8 winning streak versus Protoss. So who's gonna be winning up this best of 5 series? And it is his. Rain has been taking a break for a long time, so that's more than about 3 years. It shows the day, like 948 days that he hasn't played up this long series match. And yeah, we're gonna be also taking a look at this Rain status information. Decent looking, 61.5% win rate.
Dude, look at that versus Protoss win rate, 85%. That's insane, because PvP, a lot of times it's about build orders, and there's no way he gets a build order advantage 84% of the time, so absolutely bonkers. And then no slouch in PvZ, apparently 61%, so this guy, absolute killer when he's in shape. And meanwhile, Soulkey, no slouch either. He's got a 61% win rate versus Protoss, so simply looking at the statistics, looks very, very even. And you know what I was curious to hear when you were translating was both of them saying the third map is important. A lot of times we've been hearing the first map is the most important one. Why do you think Eclipse is what they think is the most important map here?
Well, I guess the map choice is, I had to go for Rain's favor for the first and a third map, like the map choice list. And he started off with the Revolver, and a lot of Zerg players do not like to play on Revolver because the high ground advantage for the natural, and you cannot do 973 with the Hydralisk bust, and you cannot just simply do early aggression into a macro play style, and it's just way too much of an advantage for Protoss in the early stage. So probably Soulkey does not have any, maybe he might have some backup plan for the Revolver matchup, but maybe that could be one of the reasons. Like, he just wanted to let the game go, and maybe thinking about the game number 3.
Well, Scan, our players are ready. Let's finally get into our first game of the day. It's going to be Soulkey versus Rain on Revolver.
리볼버 SE에서 게임을 시작합니다.
So in the top right, one of the Protoss superstars of all time, it is Rain. And in the bottom right, our superstar Zerg player, it is Soulkey. Now we've got we've got vertical spawns, and we know Revolver has very close rush distance. What do you think is going to be openers from both sides? We've seen Forge Expand make a resurgence in PvZ, but because of close spawn positions, maybe a Gateway?
I would consider... Wait. Rain is already sending out his probe in before supply 8, so... Is this going to be the proxy double 9 gate in the middle of the map? Where the map, you have these a lot of advantage for this PvZ on this specific map on Revolver, but I guess he decided to go for proxy double gate at the middle of the map.
Yeah, well, this is a mind game for sure. You would not expect to see this move on this map because of it being such a good map for Protoss standard play. Now, Soulkey, that's a fast scout. Oh, no, it's not. That's going to be a 9 hatch. And am I in 2001 Scan? Like, this is very unusual build orders.
Well, I guess the thing has been... Well, Normally, Protoss is playing on this revolver map. They kind of go for the Forge expansion because if you ever get the vertical, yeah, it's vertical, yeah, vertical matchup, then the rush distance is so short for Protoss that they just have to get those cannon, get the cannon up and a Forge building on time. But wow, I think Soulkey is probably thinking of the regular standard build by Rain, but he didn't go off with the standard build here.
Yeah, I was just looking at that pool timing and saw the Overlord be built after the hatchery, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, is this just going to be a little bit too slow for this incoming 9-9 game? I actually think it's not going to be too slow, but he's going to desperately need to get up a sunken colony ASAP. When he comes into top right, he may even turn around when he sees there's nothing here. Oh no! Soulkey finds him first, but doesn't find him because he doesn't expect proxy gates in the middle.
Well, this is the thing about like eliminating the possibility, because not a lot of Protoss players do one base play style, because nowadays PvZ trend, it's always you have to take your expansion at the natural, like put your building at the natural. But one thing that we have to know is Soulkey has the larva advantage, the larva cycle, that he started off with the 9 hatchery instead of the 12 hatchery. So he will be having lots of Zergling for sure. Will he be able to hold with this 3 pro when Protoss attacking with the 3 probe and 3 zealot?
I'm gonna say no, because 3 zealots, 3 probes. This is literally a build from 2000, 2001, and probes do insane amounts of damage once they're comboed with zealots. Now the Lings do get a pretty good surround here, but you can see that the zealot. Oh, it's good micro so far. He takes down 2 of the zealots. There's still a lot left over though. Soulkey, nicely done. Is he really gonna hold this?
I think he will be holding up because the sunken colony will go down for sure, but all the zealot has gone down, and even the probe got it just got picked up. And
I cannot believe he held this so easily. Now, he does need to be careful here because that's the sweet spot for Protoss. The key thing here is that he did lose his sunken colony. That is a lot of damage that Soulkey could have had, and he will have to rebuild it potentially. Soulkey posturing with Lings in the back, maybe hooking around for a surround, and that is exactly the case. And all of a sudden, Rain's in big time trouble, especially if he loses these 3.
Oh my god. Why did Rain decided to go? Well, it was a nice try to go with the proxy 9 gate, but just something went wrong when he wanted to take off those the sunken colony at the mineral line, and you know, Soulkey had like about 4 or 5 drones and glitching it with the drone drill.
Yeah.
Everything just messed up for Rain, and these zealots can't really do anything.
Oh my gosh, and Soulkey's just making it so weird. Like, there's a single zealot in the main of Soulkey, which he has to deal with, but he's got 4 Lings just chasing it, and meanwhile, he's counterattacking to the main, which means zealots have to go there to defend, and that leaves the proxy gates vulnerable. There's no forge here, so once the proxy gates get taken down, there's going to be no way to defend. I see that zealot did rack up a drone kill, but we've got 3, I think, probe kills right there with more Lings streaming in.
Yeah, I mean, these many of Zergling and the larva cycles that with the 9 hatchery build, I guess that was brilliant with the Soulkey's plan. I mean, if he has gone for 12 hatchery, he will be having 12 drones. 12 drones, and the maximum Zergling that he can make is only 12 Zergling. But since he started out with the 9 hatchery, I guess he had less drone with this build order, and he was able to make more Zergling in this early stage. And I don't know how Rain is going to be defending all of those Zergling harassment. That's just so many.
I don't either. I just keep looking at the box on the minimap. They're multitasking 3 things. The natural, then out in the center of the map while also attacking the probe line. Soulkey, absolute madman, really out multitasking, outplaying, outdoing everything that Rain has shown this game. I thought that this was game over once those 3 probes came out, but immaculate control from him, and he is primed to potentially take this game. The probe count is still relatively high, but it's just too much larva.
Yeah, too much larva, as you mentioned. And I guess we get to see lots of crazy game of this round of 8 because we have seen Action playing 4 pull, Rain is playing Proxy double
Wow.
9 gate in the middle of the map. We weren't expecting of this. The game number 1 would have been end like this easily. And yeah, probably the cameraman is probably thinking, oh, do we have to play the advertisement video? Like they're probably thinking about it, whether they have to move on or just go on to the game number 2 immediately, skipping all those commercial break.
I think we've taken the commercial break every single time, so I imagine that's the case. But man, what a wild opener from Rain. You, like we've stated before, definitely not expecting that on a map that's such a good map for Protoss. You don't expect it. He caught Soulkey off guard. It was really that drone drill that Soulkey performed. Yeah, I hope we get a look here because I thought this was lights out, but something happened with the drill where the probes just, I guess, were not able to get the hits. The Zealot bugged out and it just instantly died.
And everything just went wrong for Rain. I mean, Rain has been cutting up his pro production. So he brought 3, so if you minus 3 from there, he just has 9 probe at the main base, mining all those mineral at the main. And we're taking a look at this video of this replay. 3 Zealots was attacking the Kree colony nicely, but those 4 drone drill glitched all those probe, and one last Zealot sent it to the top side of the Vesping geyser, and everything just went wrong.
Yeah, all the Lings got surface area on the Zealot at the bottom. As you stated, one got pushed to the top, and then the one in the middle just got bugged out. And the drone drill saving Soulkey big time. And now he's up 1-0. It's going to be his map. He won a map that was definitely favored for Protoss. He's going to be feeling ecstatic about this. And I was looking on Spawnbong for statistics on Eclipse because they both seem to think this is the important map. It's pretty much the reverse of well, not of Revolver here. It's a 55% win rate for Zerg, so looking like it's going to be a fantastic series so far for Soulkey. Welcome back, guys. We see Soulkey is up 1-0 in the series. A failed 2-gate in the center of the map to catch, or a 2-gate in the center of the map to catch Soulkey off guard. Ended up failing for Rain. Impeccable drone drill, really turning the tides of that fight. And now all of a sudden, Soulkey's going to have map pick. And Eclipse is a favorable, or a pretty even map actually for PVZ. So this could be a 3-0 series if luck is on Soulkey's side. This time around in best of 5. We stated earlier that he doesn't seem to have good luck in best of 5 though. What's his history? 1-6.
Yeah, 1-6 of his best of 5. The statistics information of Soulkey is 1-6, I think. Yeah, so Soulkey doesn't have that nice win rate of this best of 5 series.
Yeah, but this time around, starting up 1-0, that's gonna feel very good, especially since he stopped a guy's all-in cheese. Now, what I'm wondering here is what's going to be the build order choice for Rain. But before that, we're going to be getting into Game 2. Players are ready. It's Allegro, Soulkey versus Rain.
알레그로에서 게임을 시작합니다.
In the bottom left, in the blue, it is Rain. In the top left, with a nice hold in Game 1, it is Soulkey. And the reason I say I am curious about Rain's build in particular is there are players out there, once they start being aggro, they continue to be aggro. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see, another aggressive opener, whether it's a forward gate or some type of potentially Nexus into 2-gate follow-up.
Well, since Rain kind of messed up his game number 1 match, so I guess he's probably going to be doing somewhat standard this time, putting on the pylon at the natural at the bottom side, so he will be having the vertical SimCity pylon forge gateway later on. And this is a pylon scout, so I guess this is highly likely going to be forge expand most likely, because you want to have that probe staying around at your natural, but he'll be checking out whether the overlord is coming from the north, and he sees it. He'll be directly sending that probe to check out whether Soulkey started out with the 9 pull or over pull or even 12 hatchery whatsoever. And as long as he figures out how late or early the spawning pool is, he's probably going to be delaying that forge as much as possible.
And it is going to be an overpool since that overlord ended up getting scouted. He does not want to go for a 12 hatch and get potentially pylon blocked, which he definitely would have. And that's going to allow Rain to probably get away with Nexus first, or maybe not Nexus first, but Forge into Nexus.
I would consider this is going to be Nexus first, but never mind. I guess maybe I'm misunderstanding about the map because the distance is kind of short. But normally on a 2-player map, like let's say Benzene, Protoss players usually do the pylon scout into a Nexus first. But I guess this is a different situation because it's a vertical matchup and the rush distance is not as long as Benzene, so the Zergling will be arriving to your natural kind of quickly. So I guess Rain wants to play safe here, putting on the forge into a Nexus. And that's a lot of cutting off the worker production, 13.
Yep, he has also gotten a lot of damage done with this probe. There's the first cannon, going to be gateway follow-up, and only 2 lings. Nothing unusual here. And we actually see Soulkey took his 3rd base with his 2nd hatchery, since that probe was still hanging around and potentially could have pylon blocked the nat. So everything pretty standard for openers so far.
Well, in this kind of situation where you have to put your cannon and fight against in a horizontal, like horizontal battle. I don't know how I should be wording it, but like the cannon range is very different. Like if the cannon is shooting from the top to bottom, or like from left to right or right to left, it's kind of all different. And whenever Protoss have to be defending those attack from the right side or left side like this, then I have a feeling Soulkey might gonna go for Hydrogen in the early stage without the lair tech.
Yeah, we could definitely see it. We already see the Lings on hold position on the ramp, which I love in CVP, and you called it already. Could be simply the cannon positioning, like you said. It is a Hydra Den. Oh, can't let the probe in, that's for sure.
We also have to know Soulkey didn't make that many Zerglings, so he's just trying his best to block that probe scout. And oh, the probe gets in, but the additional Zergling will surround. Will he be? He gets it.
Oh. Now, he doesn't see the Hydrogen, but he saw there's no lair, which may make him think, uh-oh, did you put down a Hydrogen? But you have to remember, there's a third hatch out on the map. So the Zealot needs to confirm that there's no lair at top right, and then he may be able to sniff this out.
Yeah, the Zealot is just trying to go get some information, but these 6 Zerglings is just pretty much chasing. You have to micro battle. Oh, the Zergling was about to get surrounded. I wanted to see like the forward direction of like surrounding Products unit, like how Queen was doing it in round of 16 against Bisu. It was really weird, like how he can just surround the Dragoon with only 4 Zergling.
Okay, finally gets taken down, but that Zealot does sneak across the map. And will it go straight to the third base? Yes, it will. And you can see Rain has already preemptively built cannons. I think if he was to see lair here, he might cancel them. Oh my gosh, not only does he see there's no lair, he sees speed is done and Hydras are coming.
Okay, the drone micro is fantastic, losing 1 drone. But I guess that's not gonna be a big deal for Soulkey here, because Soulkey is pretty much done with his drone saturation in each expansion. And he's just bringing in lots of Hydralisks. I don't know how many drones are there at the natural and the 3rd expansion for Soulkey, but here are the Hydralisks already poking on those gateway. Will Ray need to put down more photon cannon? And the answer is yes. He does have the second gateway second gateway warping at the natural. He's still making the pro production at the natural here.
Yeah, he's not skimping out on his eco at all. I saw in his main he rushed that Citadel very fast. It was already done when we got a look at it at 5:30. Sayre gonna take a little bit of a beating, but is still gonna stay alive. He does not confirm, I think. Okay, now he does confirm that still there's no lair in the main. Just now starting, but he does get a glimpse of it as that Corsair walks away. For now, it seems that the pressure is over. It's going to be drone cycle for Soulkey.
I may know what this is by for Soulkey, because I was playing off race on ladder and I was facing against Zealot, and Zealot is one of the type of Zerg player who does not like to go for lair attack for the spar attack. He always go for the 973 playstyle. And after taking down those forge or gateway, something like that, then you immediately switch over to 2 gas lair attack into a super fast lurker contain. So maybe Soulkey is aiming for that playstyle here, where he wants to rush for the lurker upgrade as soon as the lair attack finishes. He's already getting the second gas, and I would like to see when the 200 Vespene gas disappears.
That would explain Rain's fast robo follow-up, and if it is going to be a lurker follow-up, then that means Rain has pretty much the perfect counter so far. He's putting down his macro gates. He's up to 4 right now. Robo is coming in. His Storm is or at least his Archive is done. He has a single Templar out. We don't know if the Storm upgrade is done, but so far this seems like it's a manageable position for Rain, but losing that Forge really does hurt, because I see that the Evolution Chamber and Forge upgrade are now going to be pretty much lined up. Oh man, a shuttle just snuck out, and the Overlord missed it.
Well, there are some Zerglings out on the like it's kind of at the getting some vision at the 9 o'clock slot, but you have to be very careful. You have to avoid those. You want to avoid, but he does see it. Yeah, we saw the player cam at the minimap. The player cam, he saw it for Soulkey, so he's already prepared. And is this a DT drop?
Yeah, it's a DT single high Templar drop. So Is he going to commit? Yeah, I think that was a risky move. And that's what I was waiting to see is now that you know that this guy rushed shuttle play, does that mean or does that signal to you that, hey, that's a lot of gas into tech
Ooh,
that's countering lurker play? Do you think he might switch into mutas now that he knows that there's a lot of gas spent in that robo already?
Well, he does have decent amount of gas, but he's already warping those lurker at this before 9-minute mark. So this is going to be the lurker contain that Soulkey is aiming for. He's also building the third extractor at the 12 o'clock. So those once Zerg has the third gas axis of mining, then yes, Soulkey is just probably gonna be making lots of heavily gas unit. But this is one nice storm, picking up 2 drone and 2 hydralisk.
Yeah, that's a great storm. And in the center of the map, there was DT movement, which Soulkey did notice. Oh, that's a full drone pull right there. So that's a lot of damage done. And unbeknownst to him, he might even get an Overlord kill. He's attacking his own Overlord.
Well, I guess the lurker pops out on time, but shuttle was out of position. That's not what Rain wanted, but the single DT will be doing some work here. But not enough harassment, I would consider. Well, super fast observatory for Rain here. That was a bit unfortunate. He had enough energy for another side storm drop, but he wasn't able to use it. And look at that drone saturation each expansion. That's so many.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And there you go, the +1 already done for Zerg. Meanwhile, only +1 for Protoss. There's no armor upgrade just yet. And that was a lot of eggs morphing, and there we go. It is going to be mutaplay. I thought he might switch into that after he saw the fast robo, and he knows that there's a lack of Sares. So this may deal devastating damage once Rain starts moving out. Oh man, he loses another Sare, and he has no idea that this switch is coming.
Well, the gun switch is fantastic here, but does he have the gun range to stop this mirrorless harassment? He does have 2 photon cannon, but I think Soulkey is just gonna be taking all this cannon shot and try to take down those photon cannon as much as possible here. And he's just gonna be moving downward, so that second cannon, I guess the second cannon is in range of attacking, but this Corsair is going to do some work. Okay, picking up 2 meta.
I was surprised to see him show the mutas and just straight up go for the main. It didn't seem like an overwhelming amount of mutas, and it is going to get pushed back by these goons in a single Corsair. Nice counterattack with these Zealots. The 4th base is going to fall. But supplies are still dangerously even. It's 115 to 125. Uh-oh, okay, a DT does get spotted and it will get taken out, but how many kills will it rack up before it falls? Only 1. And this is isolated goons. There's no Zealot support here, and this shuttle might die again.
Yeah, those shuttle, I'm not sure how many units were inside, but he did unload 2 Zealots from there. So probably he wanted to drop 4 Zealot at the main and try to distract at Soulkey's main base as much as possible, but did not work out so well. Those mutalists are doing some work, but it's kind of weird, like Soulkey is playing passive here, that he's not doing the lurker contain. I don't see Hive Tech on the way, nor like triple evolution chamber and the Queen's Nest here yet.
Well, what I'm curious to see right now is what's the second upgrade going to be for both players, because Soulkey is somebody that will get +1 armor over +2 weapon, and we know Protoss players really do like to get armor as their second upgrade. And if he can get armor here versus armor, then all of a sudden the +1 weapon upgrade advantage, where it's like 2-shotting, lings and stuff, that's not going to be a factor. So 4th hatch going up, or 4th base going up at top right, 3rd base coming down for Rain. He's got only a 15 supply lead.
Yeah, Rain is somehow managing to keep up those supply, and I guess he's just gonna be securing this mineral expansion to split up the map in half. And we have seen Rain's potential of his late game, like using speed shuttle and doing the storm drop against Zerg against Action last time. Okay, those murals were sacrificed for nothing.
Yeah, that's a big loss. He didn't have the critical mass mutas where he was one-shotting a Templar, so he loses all those mutalists without killing a single Templar, and I think only one storm was blown. But here comes Sulky. He's attacking from all angles, from top, from the right side, and he's coming from the bottom side. But Rain's repositioning very well, and those lurkers are way too far forward. They get picked off almost instantly. And did Sulky overstep his now 50 supply lead?
Well, that's a really, really weird lurker borrow by Soulkey, but the +2 attack is definitely great, but he didn't earn that much of a benefit out of there, and now Rain just having overwhelming of the supply lead here, and now Soulkey is in a trouble. He still didn't saturate his 4th base yet.
Yeah, it just now got up and running, and all of these lurkers died. There's even a single zealot that's going to draw attention over there. Good storm dodge. He's going to pick off 2 Templars, but he's going to lose 6 or 7 Hydras for that exchange.
Well, I think this is scary. I mean, the supply is just kind of having the lead for Rain still, but his army composition is starting to break because he needs his Zealot and Psystorm. Okay, there's massive amount of reinforcements coming and merging with his main army here.
That Zealot might actually kill that hatchery because there's no response from Sulky. He's totally committed to trying to focus down as much of the army from Rain as possible. Zealots even kill those 3 lurkers that were morphing. So Sulky's all of a sudden pretty all in. I realize he still has 3 bases, but it's 3 base Zerg versus 3 base Protoss.
Yeah, those good High Templars and even Zealots just... yeah, Rain is showing really nice potential of his late game play. I just still kind of curious why he did a proxy 9 gate in the middle of the map last game here when he was able to play like this.
Yeah, this is fantastic. There's chaos all over the map. There was a fight at bottom right. There was also a fight in the middle. And at the same time, Rain ran these units all the way to the top left. I didn't even see it. And of course, there's that Zealot at top right. So there's 3 potential, or there were 3 fights on the center of the map, and Rain's dominated all 3 of them. This is going to be another round of lurkers bleeding off, and we may actually see the GG because the natural's not even mining anymore for Sulky, and he knows that Protoss on 3 or 4 base versus just 2 base Zerg, well, Zerg's not going to win that often.
Yeah, Rain Zealots is just pretty much everywhere, assassinating every single unit where he sees like when the units are popping out from the egg. And I guess he's just gonna be aiming for those drone and drawing all those attention at the 12 o'clock side, but the main army will be going towards to Sulky's natural, and Sulky taps out.
Yeah, that was impressive play from Rain there. Once it got chaotic, he just capitalized. Sulky played fantastic in the early stages, though. I thought he was in a prime position maybe not to take the game, but at least go to mid and late game versus Rain. But one bad engagement, the huge attack at around 135 supply, it just was a disaster for him. And you could see Rain instantly pounced on that.
I'm not a Zerg player, but I am kind of curious what... I mean, if you started off with the 973, you kind of don't want to give up the contain, like the enemy's natural, like containing him. Like, he gave up containing Rain, and all of a sudden he got the lurker upgrade and was morphing some lurkers at the before 9-minute mark. But what for? Oh yeah, it's kind of still understandable for muta switches, but it wasn't so unnecessary. I mean, the corsair count wasn't that high, and as long as you're containing Protoss with like mass lurker at the front line at the natural, then it's just kind of hard for Protoss to break, but I guess it just kind of made Rain easy to move out the center of the map, I guess.
Well, this was the game changer here. You can see not only do those 4 lurkers bleed off, but also those lurkers at the top side are not in the fight at all. And the storms were perfect. Blanketed so many Hydras. At least 15 died to just 1 or 2 storms. Absolutely insane defense from Rain, and then if the single Zealot ends up even knocking out that hatchery. Perfect play from Rain. And we've got a series on our hand. It's tied up 1-1.
So I like how both players have said on the interview, game number 3 is gonna be the important game for them for the best of 5 series, because now the score is 1-1. It's pretty much playing best of 3 from now on. And what were the map? Eclipse.
Eclipse, Butter, and Vermeer.
Oh yeah,
Think.
Vermeer. Yes, I think so too. So I think there are some potential for Rain to make it out of the round of 8.
I agree, but at the same time, Sulky's defense in game 1 was amazing, absolutely amazing. And then this game too that we just saw, I liked his position better than Reigns. It all just came down to that single attack that Sulky did. And we actually got to look at the drone count. It was not as high as I anticipated it to be, especially since he had a fourth base. It was at 45. I mean, you even called it out that he didn't saturate his top right base. But I still like Soulkey in this series. I do have to say that the management of the fights in the second game, with all the fighting going on, 3 fights simultaneously, he managed that very nicely, though.
It's also true. And I don't know the data of Eclipse Zerg versus Protoss, the matches, the record, but judging by how Rain was actually making the comeback after those early losses that lost in the early stage and made a comeback there with the play, I think he will have some nice potential to win in game number 3, because it's also one of the map kind of hard to take your third expansion for Protoss as well. And Zerg is just making lots of lurkers and doing the contain.
Yeah, that is true. And I was looking at Eclipse stats on Spawnbong, and there's over 10,000 sponsored games on this map. It's That's a pretty large sample size. It says it's about a 52.5% win rate for Protoss versus or 52.5% win rate for Zerg versus Protoss. So that's a pretty darn even map. It doesn't get much more even than that. So very, 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 very good map. It's no wonder it has 10,000 games played. And after Rain has showed the 2-gate on Revolver, now we're going into a 2-player map, which we know players do proxy sometimes. I'm wondering if Sulky might actually go for that 9-hatch opener again in case something like that happens.
Or we might get to see some photon cannon rush, how Mini
Yeah.
was doing it against 815 in the previous season. And we are seeing Into the Rain and just chugging on that bottle, shaking it left and right, just playing around like when he was a child. I guess he must be feeling very fresh after drinking it, so he really loves it. I really want to try it out. I still haven't gone to my convenience store to check out whether they have this sports drink or whatever it's called. I don't think it's the energy drink, but must be the nice drink.
What I always find hilarious is like Into the Rain like chugs it in like 5 seconds, and you could see that it was already gone before the Caster Park even started drinking it. But he's completed it now. Now, what about our last caster? I didn't see him even try it at all.
Or maybe he just doesn't feel great today. Maybe he just wanted to skip to, today's commercial, whatever the how they call it, like drinking on a camera. But uh, I think we're gonna be going for the commercial break. We'll be coming back soon. I think that's what the Korean commentators are wrapping it up.
We are back, guys. We're about to get into Game 3 between Rain and Sulky. But before we get into that, of course, we're going to talk about our ASL event.
경기 두 번째 세트까지 함께 만나보셨습니다.
So
두
far
선수의
we
현재
have
세트
seen
스코어
the ASL Season 13 Ro.8 Match 1 of this Rain vs Soulkey of these two games. The first game on Revolver, we have seen Rain started out with a Proxy double 9 gate in the middle of the map. And yeah, so Soulkey figured out it had to be a vertical matchup, even though he had some bad luck with the scouting, with the drone scout, but he has shown a very fantastic micro of defending his natural with his lurking and drone and a creep colony. And we're also having these ASL Season 13 event. People who are making the highlight video, you'll get the ASL card wallet. People who are doing the winner's prediction or the winner prediction, then you are getting the ASL mini humidifier. You're also advertising the StarCastTV esports page, the winner prediction service. You are able to check out the page with your phone, showing the bet, I suppose, showing a lot of audience are expecting Rain to win this best of 5 series. 52% versus 48% for Soulkey. And lastly, this is gonna be the last round of 8 match, so we are interested to see who's gonna be making it into semi-final.
Yeah, and as mentioned in the interview, this is the map that both players seem to think is the most important map of them all. It's Eclipse, very, very even map. And it made me wonder, okay, well, what about the statistics on the remaining map? So I instantly went and looked them up. And Butter, also very even, very limited amount of play, but you know what is not even? It's Vermeer. That's the issue here, is not very many games played, but a 60% win rate so far on that map in spawn games for Zerg. So that may be the reason that both players seem to think that they must win on Eclipse, because Vermeer might be just a death sentence for our Protoss player.
That could be true. And yeah, it looks like players are getting ready. Soulkey's already ready to play. Rain is trying to set his glasses on position on his face so it doesn't mess up. And Eclipse is, it's kind of like an old map, I suppose to say, but still very popular in this tournament series. And I guess players are now ready. We're gonna be moving to game number 3, Rain vs Soulkey on Eclipse.
이클립스에서 게임을 시작합니다.
So in the top right, making a comeback in game 2, it is Rain. And in the bottom left, our Zerg player, it is Soulkey. Now, as far as openers, I do agree. I kind of hope we see a cannon rush, but I have a feeling that we are not. But what about bottom left? Is that as good of a cannon rush position as top right? Because top right seems to be great for it.
Well, I guess both of the location is kind of good to do the photon cannon rush, and I've seen Bisu in the past like doing the photon cannon rush against Larva and toying around against Larva. And we are seeing the probe finally moved out to the natural, seeing a pylon being warped, and the probe did not send out. So this means Rain is either aiming for blind 12 Nexus, or it can be the gateway expansion.
Yeah, we'll see what Rain opts for. I kind of have a feeling Sulky might go for Overpool. So if this is going to be a 12 Nexus, that may be a bit risky. And it is not, because here comes actually 2 probes to the natural. So, so we have shenanigans going on. It's going to look like it's just a normal scout timing. But actually, there's going to be a second probe hidden in the natural going for a cannon rush.
Well, I'm wondering what that second probe is for. But Rain did prepare something unique here that I haven't seen. or maybe they have this strategy, but I just don't know because I'm not a Protoss player. But we are seeing drone being sent out. Okay, probe will be sneaking in.
Look at that timing also. It was instant. Once the drone moved and out of vision. Okay, well, did the drone see the probe move in? Because he's turned around and he's looking for him. And I'm not sure if he actually saw it.
Well, I don't know either, but I don't think the photon cannon rush will work because it started off the overpool and the Zerglings are already on the way.
Yeah, but even if the Zerglings are all on the way, if they move across the map, they're not going to be here to defend. So, I have to say I have never seen a delayed potential cannon rush like this. He does know. He did see it. Just barely the probe was in range of that second drone that moved out. Or that drone that moved out.
I mean, Rain has shown us such a great macro game from game number 2. Why does he keep trying all those weird build? Like doing Proxy double 9 from game number 1 and now doing this 10 Forge double scout and hit his probe at the natural.
Well, I agree with what you stated, but he still has a good follow-up. He's got his Nexus down at a nice timing. Sure, I realized the probe, or the early probe scout really did cut into his build quite a bit, but I think he's transitioning just fine. I agree with your sentiment. Like, he played fantastic last game. Why risk going for a move like this where you're going to be behind in the early stages? And I'm actually having thoughts about the Action versus Light series, because Action is fantastic in the late game, but he just consistently wanted to risk it all on early game maneuvers, and that's kind of what we're seeing here with Rain.
Well, we are seeing 100 Vespin guests now disappear. I don't think he also spent 150 minerals, so I'm gonna be suspecting this is going to be the Zergling speed on the way, and oh, never mind, there's alert text, so okay, I was wrong. Sometimes Zerg players like to go for the metabolic boost into Hydra Dam follow-up immediately and try to take down those Forge and the Gateway, and just pretty much doing the same thing, like repeating game number 2. But I guess Soulkey learned this lesson from game number 2 that Hydraless play did not work out so well against Rain, so he will be going for lair attack.
Yep, gonna be lair, and first Zealot does move out. We'll see if Protoss wants to commit or if he's just gonna sit in the dead space out of vision of the Overlords, and that is what he's going to do. He is just going to posture like he's attacking, but actually have no intention to attack mid-left or the natural, or at least just yet not have any intention. But maybe he does now. Nope, he's just going to turn around.
And we are seeing the Spartak is already on the way. I would like to see the timing of the Stargate. Is it almost done? Okay, so that's about like 90% done. So I guess the Spartak is kind of matching. I wouldn't say it's not 100% matching with the Corsair timing for the Scourge timing, but still doable as long as you're hiding your Overlord and not losing that many Overlord against these first Corsair. And of course, Rain, he needs to get his intel in order to do whether he wants to put down more photon cannon or can be played more greedy or whatsoever. He needs to get all this information, whether Soulkey is putting down the second gas super fast or third gas super fast. Sometimes Zerg really loves to go for second and third gas at the same time and go for heavy Muta and Scourge playstyle.
Yeah, and we know Soulkey will go for heavy mutas if he thinks it will work, because we already saw him go for that switch in game 2, even though he opened lurkers. Now what I was looking at was that super fast Citadel timing again from Rain, completed at around 520. That's extremely quick. Now the Overlords are in a nice position. Corsair's not going to rack up any kills at all, at least not just yet. We see that the 4th and 5th hatchery have gone down. Hydrogen just now starting. Maybe Rain can get this?
Yeah, one of the Overlord will get sniped, so probably not going to be a big deal for Soulkey here, but he's just opening up the supply all the way up to 52, so okay, I'm seeing from the mini-map, Soulkey already morphing his 3rd extractor, so he's definitely aiming for this the Muta Scourge playstyle here.
Yeah, We may see some mutas followed up, and this time around might be able to actually get some damage done into the main or natural. Now that was a cute move with the Ling to soak up the cannon shot as the Scourge were trying to get a connection onto the Sayers. And here comes Rain. His Citadel is so fast that speed might actually already be done. In fact, it is done. So it's going to be a 7-minute move out by him. Plus one weapon was upgraded pretty quickly too. So this should be completing. And Soulkey desperately needs to get some hydras set up at his third base. Oh, instead he's got his mutas already done.
Yeah, the mutas are already out on the map, but we are seeing this is total 5 hatchery. And 4 Corsairs are here, but here are 6 Scourges are connecting to those Corsair. But at the same time, you need to defend your third expansion, Soulkey.
A perfect defense from Sulky. Doesn't even lose a single drone there. He kills off a couple zealots. He even picks off one of the Sayers, and we have an intercepting Scourge that may get another Corsair. There we go. Goodbye, Corsair. A DT did sneak out, though, and I didn't get to see whether there is an Overlord at mid left. I imagine there is.
Yeah, so these 5 mutals are pretty much buying a lot of time, and more mutalist production on the way. So yeah, Soulkey is definitely aiming for this heavy muta Scourge playstyle. And look at the supply lead for Soulkey, 68 versus 59. And yeah, Rain is kind of on a disadvantage side, and now we see Soulkey making more drone.
Yep, massive drone cycle for Soulkey, both at his nat and his third base. And Rain has to build multiple cannons in his main just to survive, which stalls his gateway flood. It stalls his production big time. It's really just going to give Soulkey a stranglehold in the mid game, and he may even start thinking about putting down a fourth base already. That drone's moving like it's going to go to bottom right as its fourth base.
Well, I like how he's hiding his High Templar on. Oh, that connection was nice.
Yeah, and that was a hidden Templar that you were talking about. It was right up next to the Nexus, right over top of that small, the top thing, the top part of the Nexus, and you can see it's very hard to see, and that was a great connection there. Still a supply lead, but just slightly for Soulkey. He has +1 armor already, so Sayer's not going to deal as much damage, but again, the Sayers already have +1, so kind of negating that upgrade. Zealot denies the fourth hatch from going up at mid left, and he does now finally spot it that hydras are finally being pumped out.
Yeah, I mean, since he did lose some early Corsair in the early stage of the Corsair, so Rain just probably have to stay on this Corsair, High Templar, and Zealot production for probably next 1 or 2 more minutes, because he can't really switch over to Gun production here. Yeah, he's getting the gun range upgrade, but he cannot make guns yet because he needs those High Templar and have some saved up energy to do something in the future. These Corsair gotta be careful.
Yeah, do have to be careful because I think they're sitting at just 3, so not critical mass. 108 supply to 109 supply, doesn't get more even than that. Rain's starting to build up that goon count, so he's looking to make a move, but I'm sure Soulkey's lurkers will be morphing pretty soon and get into that defensive posture that we know Zergs love to follow up with.
Yeah, the game is slowly moving into the late game potential here. More middles are being made. Yeah, that's 4 more middles. I guess Soulkey is just setting up 11 middles, and maybe he might just gonna go into the main base and probably go for the base trade. Well, I wouldn't say it's completely base trade, but he will be aiming for Rain's main base. And these are the many High Templars right now Rain has. And yeah, Rain is still playing well. He does have decent amount of guns, but you gotta be careful.
Yep, that's a large amount of goons, about 12 right now, and he's got 8 gates, so that could ramp up to 20 in a heartbeat. Probe gonna move out, and it will be escorted to safety at the third, so he's gonna get that up and running pretty soon. Meanwhile, fourth base already done for Soulkey, so I'm sure he'll saturate that in just a second. I don't think we've seen his main in quite a while. Wonder if he's still on Lair Tech or if he is going into Hive. Muta's coming in again looking for some Templars, but don't find any. Managed to catch a couple Corsairs though and force a storm.
Oh my god, those Corsairs are now all gone, and now those Mutals are gonna be picking up a single High Templar one by one, and even Zerglings are soaking up some gunshot there, and yeah, Rain probably, he just needs to make more High Templar more and more, because these number of Hydralisks right now, Soulkey is moving out at this 12-minute mark. That's a sign that Rain needs to be very careful. He's just looking for additional High Templar coming out from his natural, and now all the Hydralisks are gonna go for the attack move.
Yeah, and here come the Hydras, and the army is split up again. The Mutas are focus firing down those Templars. He gets 2 out of the 3. There's only 1 remaining, and the Hydras are decimating the Zealots on the left side while also decimating the Goons. There's no more support for the Goons. It's basically just pure Goon. Oh no, it's not. We've got a couple Zealots from the backside, but these Hydras on the high ground, they could potentially morph into Lurkers and try and just kill this Nexus. Instead, he's just going to continue to engage these Goons one-on-one with the Hydras, and here come more Lurkers and Hydras to support.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot of guns. I mean, that's so many guns, but without the High Templar, these Hydralisk Lurkers are just so strong, and Rain lost all of his army. Now his army composition is just now broken, and you gotta be remember, Hydralisks only cost 1 supply each, and Protoss units always cost 2 supply every single army. So definitely Soulkey's on lead up with the supply count here. And even the army value is much higher. He's even morphing the Lurkers at the natural.
Oh, this is amazing play. Look at the endless stream of blue Hydras across the map. He even picked off one of the Templars that were at 74 energy, and Rain tapped out. And Soulkey, he's got a lead in the series going into Game 4 on Vermeer. And Rain, uh-oh man, he's got to pull it together. Both times he's been aggressive, it ended up not working out well for him.
Yeah, strategically, he wanted to do something different than the usual. Not a lot of people think it doesn't affect so much for the player, but it does affect with your optimization in early stage, like couple seconds faster with your build and stuff. But I guess with those 10 forge build that Rain was doing in the early stage, I guess he was aiming for the 12 hatchery against Soulkey. Or even 9 hatchery, because 9 hatchery, you kind of start off with your 9 hatchery at like 1 minute, 10 seconds or something. But regardless of that, this time Soulkey has made so many so many drone, and even more murals than last game. And
yeah, he's got 57 drones. His econ's ballistic. He's got the 4 bases. But this was the game changer. The Muta's picking off all the Templars, and then it's just Goon Zealot versus Hydra Lurker, and we all know how that goes. It's just the Zerg units are just so strong in fights like this.
yeah, those are the remaining guns. You may think Protoss won the fight, but the next attack that Soulkey is doing with the 4 Lurkers, they're just pretty much doing the splash damage, or I shouldn't say the splash damage, but kind of like hurting all those guns, bothering the bread, taking off the shield, and Hydralisks are pretty much finishing them off.
Well, Rain on the back foot now. Soulkey 1 game away from moving into the round of 4. We're going to be going into a break in just a second, I think, and then we'll come back and find out if Soulkey can close it out or if Rain is going to bring it back, and we'll be going into Game 5. Game 4 is headed our way. It's going to be Soulkey versus Rain on Vermeer. Not a lot of games played on this map so far in sponsored games, but according to stats, it says that this is a pretty good Zerg map and probably the main reason that Soulkey has picked it. 2-1 lead for Soulkey. Rain's shenanigans in the early game, it really not paying out for him. I hope to see some just straight up play for him because the one game he did play straight up, he ended up taking the game on Allegro. But I have to say, Soulkey looked fantastic there too. Only botching one attack and then kind of just snowballing the game in Protoss's favor. What do you think we're going to see from Rain here? You think we're just going to see the continuation of this aggressive play in the early stages, or maybe a swap back into more macro-based play?
Well, thinking of the round of 8 series of this ASL Season 13, players who was doing something different, something unusual, they always lose. They always get eliminated. So I don't wanna like hurt those Reigns fans out there, but Rain has been doing lots of weird stuff on the game number 1 and game number 3 on his map choice. So I guess just things are not just working out as he's according to his plans. So probably game number 4 with his mind. What's it called? His mind and
Mindset?
Yeah, mindset. So I don't think it's gonna be working out so well for the game number 4 with this something unusual build with whatever he has prepared. But we're gonna be moving into game number 4 here, Rain versus Soulkey on Vermeer.
버미오에서 게임을 시작합니다.
So in the top left, he needs your energy chat, otherwise he may be out of the ASL. It is Rain. And in the bottom left, looking super strong today, an absolute killer, it is Soulkey. And you know, while we were in the break, I was looking up the last time we've had Soulkey in the round of 4, and it has been 10 seasons. His last appearance in the round of 4, season 3. So you know he wants it badly to make it into the semifinals for the first time in several years.
We're also taking a look at this ASL map data. Zerg has won 4 games, and Protoss won 2 games on this Vermeer map. So that's about 66% win rate for Zerg here of this matchup. And we are seeing the Overlord is sending it towards the center of the map. I guess he wants to see where the probe is coming from, whether it is coming from the north or whether it's coming from the east. And is this going to be another overpull opening?
Yeah, we'll see if it is. Overlord is in production right now. Drone has not moved like it's going to build an overpull, so this could be a hatch first opener. Meanwhile, Rain, he's either going to go for a Forge or a 12 Nexus. It would be very risky to go for 12 Nexus on your last potential map, but that seems to be the case, and he may have a read here that Soulkey likely to go for hatch first.
Well, yeah, this is what I was pointing out. I mean, on Eclipse, he should have done the blind 12 Nexus, like how I was mentioning in the early stage of the last game. And now, since he's on a disadvantage side of this best of 5 series with the score 2-1, he's just taking a risk. He will be taking a risk to make some comeback. 12 Nexus into a 12 Gateway. So this is I never have seen it. So he's just pretty much eliminating all the possibility of the pull first build. If Soulkey does 9 pull or over pull, that's just automatically GG, because the Gateway is really late. And now Soulkey sees, oh my god, you skip your Forge, you just put down the Nexus and the Gateway and scouting my base.
Yeah, I like this move from Rain, because if you're going to lose to a 9 pull or an over pull anyways going 12 Nexus, why not just go for an even greedier follow-up with the Gateway? You would lose anyways, even if you go for a Forge. So I love it. And with the delayed scout, he has even better econ than he would normally. So this is fantastic opener for him. And this particular opener is what I've been waiting for from Soulkey, because a lot of my friends love Soulkey and they always talk about how good he is going into a fast gas. And that's what we're seeing here. It's like a 240 gas compared to like a 255 gas that we were seeing in the previous games.
This Protoss build reminds me of PBT with the 12 Nexus into Zealot Cybernetics Core Zealot build. And yeah, we are seeing something had just started to being warped, so that's good. That is just like PBT build right now he's doing in this PBZ. And since he has skipped the forge, he just has to be working on those the Zealot timing. Okay, he does have those second Zealot already out, so fantastic timing.
Look at that. I don't even see the probe underneath that gate. It is there though. Jeez, it's so hidden. Imagine if you were Zerg and you're like, I can fit through there, and then they just get
oh my
clamped
god
down. Oh, how did he get through? He gets 2 lings through, and remember, there's no cannon, so he has to micro the front consistently now while also having to deal with lings in his main.
Yeah, he's finally putting on the forge. I mean, if you are gonna be letting those Zergling, I guess you'll be just cutting some probe to put down, or maybe cut some Zealot production to put down the Stargate immediately. So I like that. I like how fast the Stargate is, and this will force Soulkey to put down the Hydra then, even though he started out with the lair attack. Did he start off with the lair attack, right? Yes, he did.
Yep, it is the lair opener, and forge just now completing, so cannon should be coming up pretty soon. The first couple zealots I think have already been dealt with. I think that's a probe at bottom right, and Soulkey is building a decent amount of lings. He's going to try and make it weird with those 2 zealots, or with those 2 lings in the main.
So that is definitely a lot of Zerglings we are seeing in the front line, knocking at the front door, knock on those gateway, but there are decent amounts of Zealot, and one single scouting probe will be picking up the drone. Nicely done. Nice multitask by Rain. And the gateway is just taking so much of damage, but you gotta be careful, Rain.
Yeah, cannon in the nick of time. Even though he doesn't get the gateway, he did see that the probes pulled off. So a decent chunk of economic damage done there, and he does not get a probe. I thought he had it, just at 2 health, barely surviving. First Corsair is moving out, and there's no way this Spire could be in time for the Corsair. This was a Nexus Gate Cybernetics follow-up. I imagine he may be able to even get a couple Overlord kills this time around.
Yeah, those Corsairs are already flying towards the Zerg main base, and see how fast the Spire attack is. And he knows the Spire attack is not that fast, but at the same time there's a cross counter attack by Soulkey with the Zergling run by, and the photon cannon still not done yet at the main base. But look at that compact building at this Soulkey's Rain's main base.
Yeah, great defense right there. He still manages to pick off 1 probe, but that was solid gameplay from Rain there in a crucial moment to deny a lot of potential damage that those lings could have done. And these lings are going to intercept these zealots. He's going to back off. I thought that could have been a decent trade for the lings, but instead he's feeling like this is not a favorable engagement, so he's just going to back off for now.
Well, I guess Rain is just going to be diving in, but more Zerglings have been made, so yeah, these are the decent amount of Zerglings to clear these Zealots. But once those Zealots are abusing the terrain, sneaking in behind the mineral line, then, well, I guess it didn't do much of a damage. But yeah, Rain is keeping up the supply really high. That's so great.
Yeah, even though the harassment hasn't killed a lot of drones, a lot of larva has been spent on lings, which is indirect drone kills. And this time around, Rain going into mid-game is going to be in a much more favorable position. Supplies are a bit better in his favor this time around. We see the 5th hatch is completed, Evolution Chamber coming down, Hydrogen coming down. But so far it looks like Soulkey does not have that insane drone count that he's had in the previous 3 games.
Well, we are seeing Soulkey has spent all of those Vespene gas for the Mutalisk, and he really needs those Scourge out on the map right now to... Okay, now Scourge and Mutas are kind of stacked, so yeah, Rain is just trying to run away. Okay, one Scourge will connect, but gotta be careful here. And we are seeing Soulkey from the minimap. He's already mining his third gas, so that means he will have an access of switching into maybe Hydralus or maybe just go for heavy Mutas or whatever he wants. And those 5 Mutas with some Scourge are doing some work.
That was a pretty good trade right there. 2 Scourge and 1 Muta for 1 Sair. He even gets an additional probe because he had the magic number of 5 Mutas to one-shot those probes. Multiple Sunkens coming down at both of the bases though, so that has me worried that Soulkey's in not as good a position as I was thinking. Sunken may end up falling, but 5 Zealots are going to lose their lives here.
Yeah, but Scourges are... That's a lot of Scourges been made for Rain, and these number of Zealots are just being thrown off randomly. I mean, if he saved those Zealots, those Zealots could have used for something else, but maybe like a late game potential where he wanted to switch over to gun production. But since he has been wasting these Zealots on those sunken line, okay, we are seeing Archon. We don't normally get to see Archon but that often, but I heard another Archon merge sound, the sound effect. So that must be the double Archon. This is the old style, the old school play style of a PvZ, where you aim for the timing attack with the 2 Archon, with the Mass Zealot, with the Mass Corsair, and the weaknesses of this build is Mass Hydralus, but we know Soulkey is not preparing for the Hydralus here, so this might work out.
Yeah, another big drone cycle from him. I thought it for sure it would be Hydras this time, and even though there's not a lot of Zealots here, the Zealots can soak up the hits from the Sunkens, and then the Archons can range it from a slight distance. And Soulkey has to be so careful to not run into these Archons. And what I'm mostly worried about now is there's no support for these Overlords, and he may just get permanently supply blocked. Oh, he runs over the Archons!
Well, we are seeing some Corsair running away, but the Archon is trying to protect those Corsair. But this attack doesn't seem like working out so well. I mean, the early stage where he lost about like more than a group Zealot in the early stage, I guess that kind of delayed his timing attack. But look at that sunken line.
Yeah, you're not going to get in there, Protoss. You're going to have to come up with a backup plan. And I did not see the cybernetic spinning, so it's still not going to be a goon switch just yet.
Yeah, we are seeing the 1-1 upgrade is done for Rain. And I don't think I've seen the robotic facility yet, but here are the Nautilus and Scourge moving into the main. Scourge are dying.
Oh my gosh, that was so many clumped up Scourge that lost their lives to those Sairs. I think he ended up killing 1, but there's still 6 Sairs left over. So that was a fantastic trade for Rain. Oh my gosh, he's continuing to build Mutas. I was not expecting to see that, especially since the Archons are still alive. Like, they can still be comboed with those Sairs. And now Templars are in the mix too. That's a good storm. Actually hits a lot of the Mutalists.
Oh, High Templar. That one random High Templar was just coming on the way, but the Archon is just protecting the Corsair really, really well. Okay, that's a nice storm.
Oh, that was a great storm, and he kills all the Scourge and all the Mutas, and this just looks unstoppable. There's an Archon that can range the Sunken. There's so many Zealots, but those couple Sunkens in the back are fantastically placed. Soulkey may just barely be able to hold this. That's a good storm with Hydras coming in the back. Soulkey actually is going to hold it. That Archon now focusing drones, trying to rack up as many kills as possible, and it's already gotten 11 kills.
That's a decent amount of a trade right now he's earning. And this is what I really wanted to see from Rain. Like, sometimes you have to be greedy. Do some blind 12 Nexus, like how Rush was doing 14 Nexus, like 2 games in a row versus Soma. The thing was, it didn't work out so well for Rush, unfortunately. But in terms of the conceptually, Rush was playing really well. And now we are seeing Rain with this the mind game with a blind 12 Nexus. Now he's making a comeback. He's just gonna be slowly catching up the score maybe 2-2. But we don't
Yeah.
see the GG yet, but we might gonna see GG if Soulkey is not able to hold off this.
Yeah, third base has been breached, and it's just non-stop Zealots flooding across the map from Rain. A Muta switch may be able to save the day, but the problem is the drone line has been obliterated. He's not mining there. And meanwhile, Rain's going to be putting up his third Nexus pretty soon. And did he save his Sayers? I can't remember.
I don't know either, but I'm not sure what those random units at the center of the map, but these number of Zealots are doing some work. And we are seeing the shuttle flying towards to Soulkey's main base, but we are seeing the single Oboler have the vision, watching. Does he respond? Yes, he does. He sees it.
Yeah, he sees it. There's the drone pull. That's got to be Templars, I imagine. Unload and try and intercept on the ramp. And no, it's going to be a DT, but he heard it unload, so he knows there's a DT in his base. But he does let the shuttle get away. Good clogging of the choke there with the Hydras. These Zealots are not going to do the damage they were looking for. And he does find the DT. Goodbye. But Rain's still in a fine position. He's up 20 supply. He's got his third base about halfway done now.
The supply count is still, I guess it's still doable for Soulkey, and it's incredibly shocking that Soulkey is just somehow making those counter Mutalists and keeping up the game. And thing is, Rain got the +2 now, and +2 armor is definitely great against the +2 Hydralists. And okay, now those Mutalists are heavily injured. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, he needs to just get the hell out of here. And those Corsairs know they are heavily injured, so he's going to try and force a fight here. Scourge doing a good job to keep the Corsairs back, and he will be able to escape with the majority of the Mutalists. Supplies are very close, 90 to 98. Soulkey has done a really good job to stabilize the game, but unfortunately for him, a lot of the supply is in Mutalisk, and there's just flat out a ton of anti-air right now for Rain. So it's going to be really hard for him to make those Templar snipes that he needs. We also haven't seen a single lurker. So it's going to be really hard for Soulkey to stop an incoming attack. But for now, Rain is content with just sitting on his side of the map.
One thing we have to know is Soulkey just has +1 attack Hydralisk. That means the Evolution Chamber where he made at his third expansion got blown up when he was preparing for the +2 attack upgrade on the way. So there's such a huge upgrade lead for Rain. He has +2 armor. Guns are really tanky once they are fighting against those Hydralisks. And these Mutalists trying to do some work, but not efficiently getting some trade. Okay, picking up that Corsair is definitely nice.
Yeah, he already got one, and he's looking to get the other two. One's dangerously low, and he's being just annoying and buying time. If he can keep Protoss back on his side of the map, that's great for him. Oh, he may find some straggler Templars. Actually doesn't take out any and instead loses 3 Mutalists. That is so many Hydras, but we know Storm is so strong. I don't think that this is enough to kill this overwhelming amount of Goons and Templars.
Yeah, this is that is definitely a lot of Hydralisks, and I'm just shocked how fast Soulkey recovered from those the harassment he had taken like a couple minutes ago, and now he has the supply count nearly even. But these Mutals are gonna be doing some work, but +2 armor High Templar is so tanky, they don't die. Even Guns are even tanky, they don't die either. Mass storms everywhere, left and right, and I think this might gonna be the GG momentarily.
Yeah, it's just, well, Ling's at the bottom and Hydra's at the top. Find isolated Goons. They're getting favorable trades here, but it's still a 35 supply lead for Rain. It's just so many Goons, and now Zealots coming in to support these Goons. It looks like we may be going to Game 5 scan.
I wasn't expecting to see like Soulkey gonna be losing, but it was crazy how well like Rain did with his the mind game with the blind 12 nexus and making the comeback like blind 12 nexus into 12 gate. You don't get to see that often.
Yeah, we definitely don't. But that was a fantastic game. The Ling harassment. Remember, he ran in Lings, and then also there was micro battles all throughout the map constantly. And then to see Soulkey actually get broken at bottom right, but then almost get back to even in supply, that's a testament to his gameplay and his power to macro in ZVP. But finally, we see another macro win for Rain, and he's tied the score up 2-2. And we're going to be going into game 5 on Butter. But again, just like in the Allegro game, the Mutas just were not able to pounce on these Templars. Sure, they did fantastic for defense here, like we're seeing here, but never actually getting Templar kills, which they desperately needed.
Right, those storms on a High Templar, and even Larva got stormed on those larva and eggs, and even Army just got obliterated. And I guess this drone once again getting stormed. Too much damage.
Yeah, this kind of just tilted it way too far in favor of Rain. You can see down to 33 drones. I mean, the drone count was still higher than I anticipated. But yeah, devastating amounts of damage. And we've got a series on our hands. We're going to be going into game 5 in just a moment, but we're going to go into a break, and then we'll be back and find out who is going to make it in to the round of 4. Is it going to be Rain, or is it going to be Soulkey for the first time in 10 seasons? This is it. This is going to be Game 5, an epic series between Rain and Soulkey. Rain, every game he's gone for the macro play, he ends up winning. And Soulkey, I mean, he's been macroing fantastic, but getting picked apart in the last game. Muta play really not working out for him. I hope we get to see the Hydra Lurker play that you were talking about on Allegro, but for now it seems like he really wants to just use Mutas to try and pick off Templars, but not finding any success with it.
Well, I consider it's kind of like how should I word it? Like it's already proven by Gamo. Like Gamo was doing. I don't think he made middles, but he was doing the lurker contain in the early stage. Like there are multiple ways going for the lurker build, like Hydraless speed range, and then lurker upgrade, or you can skip the range and immediately get the lurker upgrade immediately because you know. Protoss doesn't go for a good range upgrade in an early stage. You want to get those the Zala speed first into High Templar, and then you want to save up those High Templar energy, and then slowly switching over to the Gun, and that takes long time for Protoss. And we can see Rain is just shaking his head for. I guess he's just kind of having some great feeling. But anyway, so my point is. I want to see Soulkey doing Lurker Contain, like how Gemo was doing. I think he needs to be stubborn with his Mira Scourge playstyle. It hasn't worked out so well.
Yeah, so this is Game 5, ladies and gentlemen. Is it going to be Rain or is it going to be Soulkey moving into the round of 4?
게임을 시작합니다.
In the bottom right, tying it up 2-2, it is Rain. And in the top right, looking to make it into the round of 4 for the first time in a very long time, it is Soulkey. Now, I don't think we're going to see another 12 Nexus Gateway, but I kind of hope we do. I want to see someone just go so greedy and just really risk it. But I think that would be highly unlikely, and I do expect to see something like an overpull from Soulkey.
Yeah, so we are seeing Rain is sending out this probe to his natural. And of course, this is going to be the pylon. Okay. He's pulling back his probe. So I guess he's not interested of doing 9 gate. It can be either 10 gate still, but still have to look at this mineral. Rain's mineral, whether this is going to the blind 12 Nexus once again. And he is cancelling one of the pro production. So this is 9 hatchery versus 10 gateway by Rain, but will he go for the scout after the 10 gateway? Yes, he will.
So another 9 hatch play. I've been seeing that more and more often these days. It's still very uncommon, but I guess it does shut down a lot of aggressive gateway play like we're seeing right here. And obviously it shuts down the 2-gate proxy, which we already saw. That was an amazing game. Now, the drone count is going to be extremely low. So how does that really affect Zerg going into the next couple minutes?
What do you mean by the drone count is on low?
Well, it's going to be super low because he's going 9 hatch, and he goes 9 pool, and probably a fast gas. Whoa, well, skip all that. We've got a cannon rush.
Well,
it's a fake, though.
Well, we don't see Forge yet. He's just pretending that he's doing the cannon rush. And this extractor trick is not going to be working out so well for him because I know the drone, whenever Zerg is canceling those extractor, the drone moves to the bottom side. And I think you were saying something about having lower worker count.
Yeah, like he's going to have more larva, but you can see like his drone count is much lower than, for example, a 12 hatch here. And even though he pulled only 3 drones, he wasn't mining for a long time with them. And having the lower drone count, actually, it did a lot of damage for Rain here. Now he's going to follow up with a Nexus.
The thing
Okay.
thing with the 9 hatchery being more popular nowadays because of the larva cycle, that you have the super advantage and a much easier to defend the gateway opening. And you can also go for the execution, like how who was it? I don't remember which game it was, but it was on a Monopoly where Zerg just go for the 9 hatchery into mass Zergling production and just bust the opponent's gateway at the natural. And this is I guess that's what Soulkey is aiming for, but that's a shield battery.
Yeah, that's a battery, not a forge, and there's a gap on the left side, and already it's falling apart for Rain. Lings into the main. At least he did catch a couple of Lings with his Zealots, but this may trigger the Ling flood that you were talking about.
Yeah, that's a huge Zergling flood, but that's still fantastic Zala micro that he is holding up really, really well. I want to see the HP. Oh my god, none of the Zala has died. He actually held it.
Battery.
Yeah, he can.
And he's got the. He can just heal up those Zealots, and Soulkey, who I thought had an amazing position with the Lings getting in. Now he's got to deal with a counterattack, and those Zealots that got hurt aren't really that hurt anymore because they got healed up by the battery.
And those Zealot is just doing tons of work, getting the information here. Like those two Zealots were sacrificed, but he managed to figure out whether Soulkey is doing the drone making more drone production or more Zergling production. And now he knows what's up. He needs to defend, but I want to see the HP of the Zealot. Please click the Zealot. I want to see the HP. Okay, they're pretty darn healthy. They're healthy Zealot.
Yep, and one Zealot actually has snuck across the map at mid left, and Soulkey I think is going for it. It's more Lings. He's gotten speed, and okay, no, actually I think that's a drone cycle. No, that could be more Lings. Wow, he's really gonna try and bust this, but cannon's coming up, so this is a very, very dire situation for both players.
Battery.
Oh, look at the battery healing up the probes, amazing!
Nicely holding up, and more Zealot just came out on time, but shield battery. Oh, he just used those shield battery on time to heal up, but those Zerglings are dying one by one, and those are really, really low health. So probably Rain is not gonna be caring about those two Zergling running by. Okay, two more Zerglings will be running by, but he will be just using his probe to defend. And this Zergling flood is just gonna be working on those busting the gateway.
Yeah, and there was a Zealot at top left, which has been annoying. I think actually a Zealot ran into the main of Soulkey. I saw a blue dot up there.
Well, the movement seems really fast, so I'm gonna be assuming that must be the probe scout. I'm gonna be assuming, and these are more Zerglings trying to do the run by, but two photon cannons are strong. You cannot bust this, and
Wow.
Rain is just gonna be advancing into semifinal. This mind game.
Yeah, that was a fantastic mind game with the cannon rush. I thought that Soulkey handled it pretty well. Like, he didn't overcommit the drones, but the Ling flood, I don't want to say the battery was a bait because it didn't feel like it with the gap on the left side, but the fact that that stutter step micro from the Zealots kept them alive, he just had too many Zealots to clog up the front, and it ended up actually being a bait, and Soulkey fell for it and not able to actually break in before the cannons got up and running.
This is a mind-blown playstyle by Rain, like how, yeah, it looks like Soulkey is laughing off because, oh, why did that happen? Like, how did my Zerglings did not win at Rain's main base of 2 Zealot against his, like, 8-9 Zerglings where he ran into it, and just things didn't work out so well for Soulkey here.
Yeah, unfortunately, the replay is a little bit farther into the game where, oh my god, but look at this control. The probes just barely surviving because of that battery. The gateway still has about half health. There's just not an overwhelming amount of Lings anymore. He finally finds a hole on the left side, but the constant repositioning of the probes Now it's just 2 Lings in the main, but he still has 5 Zealots left over, and the first cannon's about to complete.
And he also has the Stargate.
Yeah, and it's not like he was even all in on this. He was transitioning out of it. And meanwhile, you can see the drone count. It's extremely low, just at 12 for Soulkey. I feel a bit bad for Soulkey. He played so well today, but in the end, it's Rain who's going to come out on top. First couple games, well, game 1 and game 3 didn't look so hot for Rain, but he really turned it on in game 4 and 5.
ASL Season 13 Round of 8. This is the last of the match 1. We have seen Rain versus Soulkey, the best of 5 series. It was fantastic game that we have seen from the last game. Rain, congratulations. Was an amazing game. We weren't expecting to see full 5 games, and you weren't being in a round of 4 about 948 days. I think that's what the day she mentioned. And how do you feel? Now you're in a semi-final, and Rain, he doesn't feel like this is real. He doesn't feel it's kind of real yet, but he's still happy that he's in a round of 4.
아무래도 제가 좀 오랜만에 출전하는 거기도 하고 사람들이 이제 팬들이 그냥
So didn't hear the question, but Rain is saying a lot of fans still have a lot of expectation how well Rain is going to be played in the ASL. He kind of wanted his fans to have like lower expectations since he has been taking such a long break, and maybe because of those having less pressure, like fans giving him less pressure, it kind of helped him to play much better in this offline stage. So we have seen some weird plays
마지막 경기 할 때는
of both of you guys, and
이겼으면 3대1로 이겼을 텐데라고 생각을 하긴 했는데
how do you feel about today's game? So he's answering that he's kind of lucky. He kind of felt like lucky that he won on the disadvantage map. I think he's probably talking about the game number 2 and number 4, which was a Zerg favorite, but he was able to make some comeback. So Rain is saying something more of the build order wise. He was assuming Zerg mostly go for the 12 hatchery, or it can be still 11 hatchery, but he wasn't able to block those Kree colony as much as possible with his probe. So I think he's talking about the game number 1 revolver of the Proxy 999 game versus the 9 hatchery. Those creep spread was just too early for him that he wasn't able to deny that creep colony. But judging by how well Rain was microing against Soulkey, he kind of felt so great about today's game. So he just tried to maintain, like forget about the loss on the game number 1. He wanted to play really well.
히드라 러커 이제 짜내기를 하는 거를 알고 있어가지고 제가 이번에는 조금 다르게 하이템플러 만화업을 해가지고 한방 전투에서 무조건 이기겠다고 생각을 해서 무난히 이겼던 것 같아요. 그 게임은 그렇게 할 줄 알고 있어가지고.
So Rain is saying something about Soulkey's playstyle that he really loves to use the lurker defense. And that's the reason why he decided to go for the High Templar, the mana upgrade, where you can actually have more storm available with each single High Templar. And that was a very nice mind game in game number 4, where you have gone for the blind 12 Nexus. What made you to do that build? And Rain answered, since he was already on the disadvantage side, like disadvantage score, why not just take a risk if you are going to be getting eliminated in round of 8? Why not just try being greedy and make some comeback here? And it kind of worked out so well. So he in the round of 4, you'll be facing against Soma. How do you feel? And how are you going to be prepared to play against Soma? And he said, Soma is definitely a strong player. There's something for Rain to study and analyze how Soma plays to play better for his next game. Any last word to your fans?
나오게 됐는데
So he wants to say
좋은 결과 나오는 것 같아서
fans were rooting for him. Or fans want to see him playing in an ASL. So kind of got some inspiration and motivation by other players as well. He's saying thank you to his practice partner. He said Shine and some other players. I wasn't able to hear because I was trying to do the live translation here. Sorry about that. But he wanted to say thanks to all those members who were helping him out. And thank you for the interview. Congratulations that you made it into round of 4. See you next time.
Yep, so we get a look at how the match went down. Soulkey, then Rain, then Sulky, and then back-to-back wins from Rain seals the deal for him. And we finally have our top 4 rounded out. And that means we've got Soma versus Rain in the top side. And then tomorrow, we're going to see our first round of 4 match. It's going to be Light versus Bisu. This is a superstar-studded top 4. And I know a lot of people really love Soma, but today Rain played extremely well once he got to mid-game versus Soulkey, that I think he's got a good shot to take down Soma even in the round of 4.
Yeah, it's interesting to know how Rain and Bisu, they're both really good against playing against Zerg. I guess it's kind of like proved to us that SK Telecom Products players are really great at playing versus Zerg. Well, I would still say Mini's definitely great in PvZ too, but kind of like a different playstyle than SK Telecom Products players.
Yeah, and I just want to point out here, you see that tomorrow it's going to be Light versus Bisu, but then we've got a somewhat of a switch up in the schedule. The next round of 4 matchup is going to be next Sunday, so definitely don't show up on Tuesday expecting to see Rain versus Soma, because that will have already happened. So definitely mark your calendars for Sunday at 7 p.m. And that will be a very exciting top 4. I don't know if we could have gotten a better top 4. I mean, this is fantastic. Everybody's playing so well, especially Soma. Soma, I think, is a lot of people's pick to go the distance this season. And there's the map order: Allegro, Eclipse, Monopoly, Butter, Vermeer, Revolver, and then of course Game 7, if we get there, is going to be the one and only Metaverse.
If you look at the map, I can see which maps were chosen by Bisu.
Oh yeah? Which ones do you think?
2, 4, 6. All the even numbers. I can tell it's a Bisu's choice because, I mean, if you're a Terran player, why are you choosing 2-player map, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, we know based on the game of JYJ versus Bisu last week, there's no way Bisu ever picked Monopoly. I mean, JYJ looked dominant on that map, and Bisu had no answer, so no surprise. Or, well, I guess we technically don't know if Bisu picked 2, 4, and 6, but yeah, highly unlikely that he was the 1, 3, 5, 7 pick.
Yeah, well, so today's game was very interesting to see a lot of mind game going on of these 2 players, starting off the Proxy double 9-gate at the center. And yeah, I mean, Soulkey was playing standard most of the game, but who was it? Rain was the one like keep using his early stage probe, like bluffing, like, hey, I'm doing the cannon rush, and then just pretty much hurting. We're messing up whatever Soulkey was actually planning for. Like 9 hatchery. You started off the 9 hatchery, but you see, oh my god, you're putting down those double pylon of all my Vesping guys. Okay, that must be the photon cannon rush. So I have to put my 3 drone. But turned out to be, it wasn't the cannon rush.
Yeah, it was great mind play from Rain, but I have to say I was a bit worried after Game 2, even though Soulkey ended up losing Game 2. If you think about how that game unfolded, He lost like 10 to 12 Mutalists trying to snipe Templars and didn't get almost any in that game. And he was still even in supply. So I thought, okay, wow, actually, this might just be a 3-1 for Soulkey because Soulkey was playing so well. But in the end, Rain just a little bit too strong today. And unfortunately, Soulkey was eliminated. But he played extremely well, and I'm looking forward to see him in the next season. But Rain, oh my god, his mid game and late game is fantastic. And there was chaos all throughout the map on multiple maps. Like there were 3 battles going on multiple times in this series. And in the end, Rain reigned supreme in those micro battles, especially at the end with that Zealot versus Ling battle. And that's it for us. Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
that's it for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we've got the first round of 4 match tomorrow, and then Sunday is the second match. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next couple days.